I've always been interested in art when I was young. My mother was pretty creative. She painted at various times when she had time raising kids, but I would always follow her or watch her, see what she was working on, probably get in the way. But I took every art class I could through high school. However, growing up in a small rural area, I was told that you can't make a living as an artist, so you better find something you can. And so I did not pursue my art as a profession. Coming out of college, I went in to be an architect. Flunked out of math, that ended my architect skills. And from there, I went into commercial design, graphic design, but I took a lot of art classes in college, and finally, when I graduated, I had a degree in art. I was going to use it for anything. I didn't plan on being an art teacher. From there, I dabbled in art, and I was in a highly stressful field for a while where art was my release. And getting back into that, I found a passion. I'm known primarily as a pencil artist. That's how I passed 20 years. That's been my main medium. I've always had a fondness or a liking for watercolors, so I've branched out. I'm painting now. I also, on top of that, I'm doing plein air. Bruce Green, an artist friend, said get out of your comfort zone, and certainly by doing plein air, I'm definitely out of my comfort zone, but it's a good challenge. I'm enjoying the experience and looking forward to see where it's going to go. I spent the last 30 years in commercial design, the corporate art, graphic design world as an art director, creative director. But however, in that time, my true passion, my calling always has been creating and painting, drawing. It's just a feeling of being able to see an image and take a scene and create it that captures a moment, if you will. I'm a realistic contemporary Western artist. I paint modern working ranch scenes, and it's not so much the romanticism of the cowboy lifestyle, but there's something about it, just the movement, the action, just people that you meet, that it's very authentic, very genuine people. But it's also subjects I know. I grew up in western Nebraska, a rural area around farming, ranching, raising cattle, and there's just something to, I think one of the greatest icons in the world is the American cowboy. Regardless of where you go, people are going to identify it. I've traveled through many countries, and there's nothing like a cowboy hat to get people's attention. I think everybody grew up watching the Westerns. Everybody has said the West is dead, that artists are trying to capture that lifestyle, trying to capture history. My generation is saying the West is dead, but that's been going on for centuries. Charlie Russell's generation said the West is dead. However, you know, the American cowboy's still out there, still working, preserving the land still. When I'm out and about, I'm always looking at different images, different lights, colors, and I'm always trying to figure out how to work that in, you know, how to make that into a painting or drawing. And when I do that painting or drawing, it captures a moment for me, but it also kind of brings a certain calmness, if you will. It's rewarding for me to know that I can take a scene or I can take an image, and it's not going to be a photograph, but it's my own interpretation of said image. And, you know, it can be challenging, but it also can be quite scary throwing that piece of work out there for others to interpret or critique. But as far as driving, I mean, I'm always looking for that perfect drawing, that perfect painting, as all artists are. That I think that's one of my motivations, is always to continue to strive to get better. And again, I'm honored that the subjects I choose appreciate what I do. My art is for my subjects, really. I'm trying to honor and bring authenticity to the Western way of lifestyle that still exists. It's not so much for me trying to educate, I guess, as it is just trying to open others' eyes to this lifestyle, whether, you know, they understand it or not. If I can portray a scene or an image that gets somebody's attention and kind of strikes a chord, or maybe picks their interest and asks questions or that they can identify with, then I think I've achieved my goal. And again, a lot of the people in my art are friends, working cowboys that I know. I'm always honored when they invite me to their places. It's basically their place of work, but when they invite me, knowing that the quality of my work is going to represent what they do on a day-to-day basis, that's a pretty big honor. It's even a bigger honor when I'm asked to create a commission piece. Commissions, custom pieces, if you will, raise a whole different challenge where capturing their image of what they would like portrayed, and it is an honor when they trust me to bring out that image for them. I think one of my influences, certainly one of my strongest influences when I was young, was my mother was creative. Different times she would paint, creative, but oil painting I can remember her doing. I used to watch her paint. I used to watch her sketch and draw. She would always do different theme drawings for the holidays, or would also turn that into different creativity. For instance, she would make Easter cakes in the shape of bunnies that she would draw, and just seeing how that process of the sketching always interested me. It was something I wanted to try to emulate. And as I got older, my mom stopped painting and such, but I continued. She obviously supported me through high school and my college artistic endeavors. One of the things I'm very proud of is my mom. My mom has taken up painting again. She does watercolors. She started painting as part of a grief process when we lost my little sister. At that time too, I became more dedicated and focused on my art, and it's a nice journey where my mom and I are at this point in our lives where using art for therapy, using art to handle the grief. One of my goals, and I'm still working on getting her on board, is having a mother and son art show. My mom is very prolific. She completely different style of watercolors than mine, and however she's resisting the show and doesn't think her stuff is comparable, her work is comparable, but it's something that I'm going to make happen. It's going to be a goal of ours. One of the beautiful things is now with this loss of my sister, one of the things it's opened up for us is it's given us the opportunity to grow and paint together, something that I have not done, and again, since I was a little kid 45 years ago. So it's been a great journey to experience this with my mom again and kind of revisit that.